I'm going to tell you a story very quickly that my wife probably won't be particularly happy with, but whatever. So 2 years ago on my wife's bachelorette, she went camping with a bunch of her friends because she's outdoorsy and doesn't want anyone else to have a good time. But oh man. So while they were camping, one night she got stung by a bee on her butt and didn't really know that she had gotten stung by a bee. She just thought she sat on something and it hurt. And you know, you're camping and you're water rafting and all this kind of stuff, and it ended up getting really infected. And I know that doesn't sound funny. She ended up getting a staph infection and needed antibiotics. But I'm telling you this story because one, it's funny now, and two, it's kind of relevant to today's video. Hey everybody, Nick from 9Card TCG, and today we're going to be playing an Arceus Inteleon Beedrill deck, something that I think is a little underrated and something I don't really see many people talking about. And now the list we're using comes from Kaito Arai. I'm saying that so wrong, and I really apologize for the mispronunciation. However, Kaito did come in 9th place at EUIC, so major congratulations to them. They did just miss out on top 8. I don't know if it's because they lost or resistance. I didn't really look at the standings like that. I just know they came in 9th. So huge congratulations, and I'm very excited to play this deck. And I told that story because, well, Beedrill, you know, and bees, and it's just whatever. If you haven't already, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment on this video. It helps a ton. And if you really want to help this channel grow, the best thing you can do is share the link to the video. Those are the best ways to tell YouTube this is a good channel and other people should watch it. If you're in the market for some TCG accessories, I'm now affiliated with Dragon Shield, which means you can use the link in the video description to get yourself some awesome Dragon Shield matte sleeves. They're the only ones I use. You show up to regionals looking and feeling like a pro. I get a kickback, which means I can make more and better videos for you guys. Also, you know, there's 9Card deck rent if you want to try decks before you buy them. There's a Discord, and you can become a channel member if you're so inclined. But none of that's ever required or expected. Just you being here watching is enough for me. Now, with all that out of the way, let's pop over to PTCGO and check out this 9th place Arceus Beedrill deck. Arceus V and V-Star are still very much the stars of the show, and the rest of it is kind of like a supporting cast. Arceus V-Star, we've gone over a bunch, but just in case you're new, 280 health on a 2-prize Pokemon is monstrous. Trinity Nova for 3 colorless energies does 200 damage to the active, and then you get to search your deck for 3 basic energies and attach them to your Pokemon V in any way you like. Your V-Star power, which is a once per game power, in this case it's an ability, lets you search your deck for any 2 cards you want and put them into your hand, and that's going to be very important a little later. We do run the Chilling Rain Single Strike Beedrill, and it has the Persist Sting attack. For just 1 grass energy, you get to knock out your opponent's active Pokemon if they have any special energy attached. Fusion, Rapid, Single, Capture, Double Turbo, those are all special energies that you might or probably will encounter at some point playing in a tournament or on the ladder, and you just take those knockouts. And don't underestimate Jet Spear. There are a bunch of Grass Weak Dark types running around, and Jet Spear for that 1 grass energy will do 220 damage because you're hitting them for weakness. So that Hoopa V, that Galarian Moltres V, those are all Grass Weak Dark types, so don't be afraid to use Jet Spear if it comes up. We are pairing this with something like Galarian Zigzagoon, mostly because in the Arceus mirror, if we have Arceus V-Star, double turbo energy means we hit for 180 damage, and then with the Choice Belt, we're hitting for 210. Zigzagoon, when we play from our hand to the bench, we get to put 10 damage or 1 damage counter onto one of our opponent's Pokemon, which means if you have an opposing Arceus V, it has 220 health. Well, we just said that Arceus V-Star can do up to 210 with the double turbo energy, so that last 10 damage, we can use Zigzagoon to take the knockout. We do have Shady Dealings, we have a bunch of Sobbles, Shady Dealings, Drizziles, which when we play this card to evolve one of our Sobbles, get to search our deck for any supporter card or any trainer card we want. Quick Shooting to, again, help just take some knockouts and put some damage, put some pressure onto our opponent's Pokemon. Shady Dealings Inteleon, You evolve that Drizzile, now you get 2 trainers of your choice. And the rest of the deck is kind of geared up to help us make Beedrill plays happen. How do we get Beedrill in play with no Weedles or Kakunas? That happens through Single Strike Mustard. You can only play this card if it's the last card in your hand. However, when you do play it, you get to search your deck for a Single Strike Pokemon and put it directly onto your bench, which means Beedrill can skip all the evolution stages and go straight to the bench. And then you draw 5 cards. Now, do keep in mind when you play Single Strike Mustard, you do not have to get a card in order to draw. It just says search your deck. Now, it doesn't say it on the card, but there is a second requirement for playing Mustard. It has to be the last card in your hand, and you have to have an open bench space in order to make room for a Pokemon that you search. So if you have a full 5 Pokemon bench, even if Mustard's the last card in your hand, you cannot search for a Pokemon because you wouldn't be able to put it in play. So make sure you have that open spot if you're trying to make a Mustard play happen. The rest of the deck is kind of geared up for making Mustard plays happen. We have things like Ultra Balls, discard 2 cards from your hand to search your deck for a Pokemon. Scoop Up Net, we can just play to get those Drizziles and Sobbles either into the hands, back in play. We'll be able to reuse Shady Dealings. Quick Ball discards a card from our hand. Pal Pad puts supporters back into the deck. Ordinary Rod puts Pokemon energies back into the deck. Level Balls, Evolution Incense help us find Pokemon. Energy Switch is actually a really cool inclusion because if we attach a Grass Energy to our Arceus V or V-Star and then double Turbo Energy, well, now when it's time to make a Mustard play happen, we can move the energy from the Arceus to the Beedrill to make the attacks happen a little easier. We do have a handful of supporters. Boss's Orders to pull Pokemon from the bench to the active. Sharon's Care to help get damaged Arceus V and V-Stars out of play, and then we can just kind of play them back and recycle them. Marnie is actually a fairly important inclusion at the moment because a lot of Urshifu decks are kind of running around and they just really operate on the idea that no one plays Marnie that much and they could have these enormous hands and kind of just play whatever they want and react to the situation however they need. So we do play a Marnie to help deal with that a little bit. Couple of Professor's Research, discard your hand, draw 7. Raihan is really nice for if a Pokemon gets knocked out, you're able to attach an energy from your discard to one of your Pokemon and then search your deck for any card you want. Air Balloon to help things get out of the active spot so we can make Beedrill attacks happen. Big Charm to increase the survivability of things like Arceus. Choice Belt so we do a little more damage. We ourselves play a bunch of special energies. Double Turbo Energy is really important for powering up our Arceus Vs and V-Stars. Capture Energy is going to get some Pokemon into play, mostly things like Sobbles. And then we do have some Grass and Water Energies. The Water Energy is actually for our Inteleon here. We can use the Aqua Bullet attack, which is a pretty good single prize attack. Does 120 damage to the active, 20 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So don't overlook the Aqua Bullet attack. It is a line of play that you may want to take occasionally to help offset prizes. Maybe put a little pressure onto a Pokemon, something that Arceus V-Star can't knock on its own. Well, now you make your opponent go through that Inteleon before you offer up your Arceus V-Star, and they take 2 prizes. So we have a bunch of ways, a bunch of lines of play. It is a little bit of a complicated deck, so you know, if you don't get it right away, or if I make a bunch of mistakes while we're playing, that's kind of expected. This is the thing, this is the kind of deck that you have to sit down with and play a bunch before you really start to understand what you can get rid of, how to make the Mustard play happen, and when it honestly is even the best time to make the Mustard plays happen. So let's go ahead and give it a go. Going into game number 1, we do lose the coin flip, and honestly, that's not that big of a deal in this kind of deck. Most opposing decks aren't going to be able to knock out an Arceus here on their first turn. Now, we don't have the greatest of hands. We do have a bunch of energies. Our opponent's going to mulligan, so drawing that extra card will be pretty useful. Looks like we're playing some type of Arceus Beedrill Dark deck. They're going to play that Jolteon. That Jolteon's kind of annoying because when that Jolteon comes into play, they're going to look to put a capture energy onto it, and or a memory capsule onto it, and start to turn off the abilities of all water type Pokemon, which means this Inteleon or Drizziles will not have an ability. My goodness, what a bad start for us here. That's literally all we can do. The little unfortunate, that's something that I've mentioned in the past when we played like the Lycanroc Beedrill deck, and something I've mentioned on streams, which yes, I do stream on Sundays from 11 a.m. Eastern to 1 p.m. Eastern. These Arceus Beedrill decks can be a little bit inconsistent just because they, you can't play Mustard like you would any other supporter card. You have to wait until it's the last card in your hand. So that Marnie becomes really important. That research becomes kind of important. And Mustard just, if there's nothing you can do, like right here, we are in a little bit of trouble. And there's actually a chance for our opponent to just go ahead and win the game outright. If they Starburst for a Choice Belt and a Zigzagoon, then we just lose because we didn't have any other Pokemon, and that's just the way it goes. If they don't KO us, then we can Starburst for our own Arceus and start to make something happen, start to get ready maybe for the next turn. But not being able to power up another Pokemon is really problematic. So we were kind of hoping we'd get into another Arceus. We didn't, but it is just the way it goes sometimes with these very combo-oriented decks. So we'll have to see what we can make happen. They need to get, they need to get, we're playing a Malamar. Okay. Malamar can be really annoying as well because we do rely on having specific cards in our hand. They're trying to dump cards from our hand to make Mustard plays happen, and then they just use their Max Jammer, and it becomes significantly more difficult to do. They aren't, fortunately for us, able to take the one-shot, and now they're just going to go ahead and power up this Malamar V. Now, this is Grass Week, so if we can make a Mustard play happen and start attacking with Beedrill, which, one, we would take a knockout on this Arceus V-Star with Persisting. This is also Grass Week, which means we're going to be hitting it for 220. It'll probably just knock us out the next turn anyway. We are having a very rough go of it. And we don't even get the Arceus V-Star. This is really, really bad. Did we prize all of them? No, we didn't prize any of them. We didn't prize any of our Mustards. This is just... Probably should have used a Quick Ball there. We'll dump the boss. And we'll get another Sobble. And then we'll just Trinity Charge. There's no point in Power Edge. We're going to go ahead and get this Water Energy. I do want to keep one Grass Energy in the deck, so it's a chance we can draw into a Mustard. But just not anything we wanted to see. We actually, after we researched, we wouldn't have. But drawing into that Drizzile really, really hurt. Then because we had to research it away, so 2 Drizziles and not good at all. So depending on what we top deck, if we can make an Arceus V-Star play happen, then we can maybe Starburst for like an Ultra Ball or something, and then Path to the Peak. We don't even need Path anymore. They're going to go ahead and probably get that Jolteon at this point and try to attach that Memory Capsule, which means we won't be able to use any of our Shady Dealings that we might have left. So there is the Jolteon. I'll probably leave this game in just so you can kind of see, one of the issues that it does come up with these kind of decks is that sometimes this happens. But 2, just how to kind of thin the hand out and think next turn about getting that Mustard playoff, stuff like that. So we'll probably, this is going to get knocked out. If we can get an Arceus V-Star in play, the goal is to search probably for a Training Court and an Ultra Ball. That would be, or even if we get an Ultra Ball off the top deck here, that would be pretty good. But our opponent's so far ahead of us, and all their Pokemon have basic energy, so even if we do knock out this, they're just going to come right back with the KO. So, not ideal. Definitely not ideal. We get the Sharon's Care. We just lose. We're too far behind, unfortunately, and just drawing into all the stuff we don't want to see. Going into game number 2, let's see if we can find a little bit of a better start than we did last time. We'll call Tails because Tails never fails until it does. And so we'll probably end up going second. Still not a big deal if we can start Arceus here, which we do. I'm not thrilled about this hand. We do have the 2 researchers, so we can kind of dig for a double turbo energy and another Pokemon. Rapid Strike Malamar is kind of annoying against these type of decks because they just hit super hard. And they're just going to go ahead and attach Pass. I don't even think I really need to play the Zigzagoon. I think I just research. Unfortunately, I don't have anything else to do here. And we hit nothing particularly helpful. We'll get rid of the B because once it's in hand, we can't use it. But we have another B, so that's okay. Go ahead and get another Sobble. Because now, at the very least, we can Drizzile and then Ultra Ball away this Inteleon and whatever our top deck is, but yeah, you know, whiffing a double turbo, and it's part of the issue when you only have 3, you know, there's not a super high chance that you're going to draw into one. You would think with 3 after drawing into our, you know, 8 cards, 7 to start top deck, and then research or draw another 7, we're drawing into 15 cards, there's a good chance we'll hit one, but we just didn't. We didn't hit any energy, which is actually kind of problematic. And they're gonna go ahead and Brawly. I'm surprised. Usually Rapid Strike Malamar decks want to go first. This is where something like Avery would be so helpful. Because now you just be able to drop their bench down to 3. So there's the energy. So what we'll do, let's go ahead. We'll get the Training Court. Now we Ultra Ball. And we'll get the V-Star. We'll play Mustard. We'll get the B. Draw a bunch of cards. Okay, we got the Grass Energy. Now we can go ahead and Starburst. We'll go ahead and get an Air Balloon, which thank God it's not prized. I should have checked that first. And let's get... I think we get another Arceus, honestly. I think we get another Arceus. So we'll just do that. We'll just get another Arceus, because we can always Inteleon for more trainers next turn. So that's fine. We'll bench. We got here. And then we can go ahead and Persist Sting. Take the KO. Not exactly the KO we want to take, but by giving us that special energy, we want to do it. And now in this next turn, if this Beedrill gets KO'd, now we can come in, Raihan that Grass Energy, search for a double turbo energy, and now we're off to the races, being able to start power. Now where that Arceus is powered up out of nowhere, and we're starting to power up that benched Arceus as well. So that's kind of the game plan here. I don't know if they necessarily saw the B play coming when they attached that the spiral energy, whatever it's called, but. Yeah, now we have this B in play to kind of have to deal with it. It is going to be, I don't want to say difficult for them to deal with, depending on what's in their hand. They're probably going to, get their hand down to as little as possible to Cynthia's Ambition. They need to draw into an energy and a Malamar. They can find the energy very easily with they can just Training Court for it, so that helps too. But they would be able to just Rapid Strike search for either card if they missed one. And then they just have to show 4 cards in order to take the KO on this Beedrill. So, not going to be too bad. Again, this is rare. I really wish we had something like Avery to drop their bench down to 3. Now they have to get rid of they're going to get rid of one of their Remoraid's. They'll probably get rid of an Inkay. And then they have to choose, do they want to get rid of the other Octillery or their Drizzile. So, can be really problematic. And there's another Malamar, so they're guaranteed to have it for the next turn. And they're just going to go ahead and start burning stuff, get these cards out. I don't necessarily think they needed to use that Rescue Carrier right now. They can Scoop Up Net that Octillery. Oh, the Remoraid. Throw down another Sobble. Yeah. We unfortunately, because they're constantly hitting into us, we're not really able to take a lot of KOs on their support Pokemon. If we want to KO their Octillery here, that would be a really big card. So there's the 4. Maybe they didn't have it without using that stuff. But we kind of have to Raihan, unfortunately, so I can't boss anything. So we'll go ahead, we'll Raihan. And then we can search for a double Turbo Energy. Let's Quick Ball away this Arceus. I have an energy switch. I have enough basic energies in the deck, so that's okay. So I don't necessarily need to get a and we'll just go ahead. I don't really think there's anything else I need off the Shady Dealings right now. So there's no point in using it. And we'll just go ahead and power up this Arceus V. Maybe I could have used it to get an Arceus VSTAR kind of guarantee one. That might not have been a bad idea. But too late now. So, and there's the boss's orders. That's pretty good depending on what they do this next turn. They will likely throw down another Remoraid. And we would be able to Inteleon for a, what's it called? An Ultra Ball and a Mustard. And then we can just try to make another B play happen. So we would Inteleon, we can dump 2 of these. I could try to get a Mustard. Because only one is in the discard. And we only have one B in, oh, we have both Bs in the discard. So we would need an Ordinary Rod as well in order to make all that happen. So less likely at this point. But you can see they are attaching basic Psychic Energies. They're being a little bit cautious there. Just because they don't want me to be able to throw another B out there. They want to take the knockouts on these 2 prize Pokemon. And we would probably want to try to attack with the Inteleon here. Just to kind of help offset that prize trade. So then they're going to look for another Inkay with the Fog Crystal. Oh, they fail it. Okay. So they would need to hit a fair number of cards here in order to take the KO on this Arceus VSTAR. It's not impossible. They can absolutely do it. It's only 7 cards. They do have 7 cards in their hand exactly. So, if all 7 have to be Rapid Strike cards in order to take the KO here. And they go ahead and concede they don't have it. They don't have either the setup for the following turn, or they know that they're not going to be able to keep up that prize trade. So, really nice. Man, I hate Rapid Strike Malamar. And there you go. I just really wanted to show off how to kind of sequence your hand and discard stuff to make the Mustard play happen. How important that Beedrill can be in order to help offset prizes and just take out, KOs that your opponent might not have seen. We can Raihan once that Beedrill goes into the discard, or by discarding energies to thin the hand for Mustard. Raihan plays become really useful because then we can search for that double Turbo Energy, start attacking with Arceus out of nowhere, and power up another Arceus on the bench. If they didn't KO that Arceus, which they obviously couldn't, I would have used the Shady Dealings Inteleon to find us a Sharon's Care and then recycle that Arceus V and VSTAR so that they did that attack, they shuffled their hand down to 1 or 2, whatever how many cards they would have had left, and then just keep attacking, and they took 0 prizes the previous turn. So it would have been a little annoying and kind of hard for them to come back from something like that potentially, but that's how you have to start thinking. That's what you want to do with this deck, and I love this kind of I love this style deck. I personally play it myself. I really enjoy it, but you do suffer from bricks. You do suffer from being one piece off from that, you know, pulling off that perfect combo. That's just the nature of these kind of decks. For whatever reason, the more inconsistent, the more I tend to enjoy it. But that's going to do it for us today. I hope you enjoyed, found it a little informative. If you did, subscribe, like, comment, maybe order something from Dragon Shield, become a member, join the Discord. That would be super cool if you could join the Discord. And yeah, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time.